Is a 40-inch ultra-wide curved monitor actually worth it for the average creator, the gamer who wants a bit more screen real estate, or just the office worker looking for a more comfortable workspace? Who should skip it, and does the price make sense for everyday buyers? Those are the questions I get every time I see a big screen like this pop up on a deal page. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the hesitation most people feel isn't about the brand or the renewed label, it's about the commitment to a size and a shape that can change how you work and play. A 40-inch display takes up a lot of desk space, and the gentle curve can feel either immersive or distracting depending on where you sit. The price tag sits in the premium range, so you're basically betting that the extra pixels and the built-in connectivity will actually replace a handful of accessories you'd otherwise need. If you end up with a monitor that looks great on paper but sits idle because it doesn't match your workflow, that's a wasted investment. Let's talk about the category for a second. Ultrawide monitors have become the go-to solution for people who juggle multiple windows. Think video editors, data analysts, and software developers. The extra horizontal real estate means you can line up a timeline, a color grading panel, and a preview window without constantly alt-tabbing. For gamers, the curve can give a bit more immersion, but it's not a substitute for a high refresh rate. And for everyday office use, the wider field of view can reduce neck strain because you don't have to turn your head as often when you're scanning a spreadsheet or a long email thread. Who should buy the LG 40WP95C? If you're a content creator who needs accurate colors, the Nano IPS panel covers about 98% of the DCI-P3 gamut and supports HDR10. In practice, that translates to more faithful skin tones in Photoshop or richer highlights in a video project. The monitor also ships with a Thunderbolt 4 port that delivers 96 watts of power, so you can hook a laptop, charge it, and drive a 4K signal all with a single cable. I've seen people replace a docking station, a separate power brick, and a pair of HDMI cables with just that one connection, which tidies up a cramped desk dramatically. If you already work on a USB-C laptop, that single cable workflow is a genuine productivity boost. On the other side, who should skip it? First, competitive gamers who chase 144 Hz or higher will feel the limitation of a 60 Hz panel. The curve is also less helpful when you're sitting right up against the screen for fast-paced shooters. You might actually lose a fraction of reaction time because the image isn't as flat as a traditional sports monitor. Second, anyone with a modest desk, say a standard 48-inch depth, will find the footprint a tight squeeze, especially once you factor in the tilt, height, and swivel adjustments. Third, budget-focused shoppers should be aware that even the renewed version still sits near the top of the price range for ultra-wide screens, so if you only need extra width for occasional spreadsheet work, a more affordable 34-inch model might make more sense. Now let's get into the practical strengths that become obvious once the unit is on your desk. The color coverage isn't just a speck on a sheet. When you load a 5K video in a media player, the HDR10 signal pushes bright whites and deep blacks that actually feel like you're watching on a small home theater screen. The built-in 10-watt speakers deliver a surprisingly full bass for a monitor, so a quick YouTube tutorial or a casual movie night doesn't require external speakers. It's not a substitute for a dedicated sound system, but it eliminates the need for a dongle or a separate soundbar if you're just listening to a podcast while you code. The three-side virtually borderless design is another subtle win. When you line up two of these side by side, something a few power users actually do, the lack of thick bezels means the combined canvas feels seamless, which is a real advantage for timeline-heavy video editing. The adjustable stand gives you tilt, height, and swivel, so you can set the monitor at an ergonomic angle without buying a separate arm. That flexibility matters because the curve can cause glare at